Another exhibition fight was announced last night.
Yeah, madness, isn't it? I mean,
Floyd and Logan.
I spoke to some of those guys and they're like, yeah, we're going to announce it. And they told me 2 weeks ago they were going to announce it. And I just thought, no. And then when it wasn't announced, I was thinking, yeah, it must have just been bollocks. And then when I saw it last night, I was like, wow. So, I don't know. It's tough to criticise, isn't it? Because I've done one, but I did do it with 2 YouTubers and it was at least competitive. I don't really see the attraction of that one. Do you know what I mean?
It's a bit random as well, isn't it?
Listen, even Mike Tyson against Roy Jones Jr. Well, I can't say that I stayed up and watched it, but okay, you know, at least you don't really know what's going to happen. With Logan against Floyd, I don't see the narrative. All right, greatest fight, one of the greatest fighters of all time against a YouTuber who's 0-1. What, you know? But I'm available to promote it.
You would as well. Yes. Yes. I'm not even going to ask that question. It's too obvious. Edward, what do you think about their pay-per-view policy, like their pricing plan? If you get it before...
Just weird. But I've heard that that's actually not confirmed. I have heard that I don't think the broadcast is actually set yet. I'm not sure.
Well, that's on the official website, what that was going about yesterday.
I'm not sure if that's the case, if it's actually, but I don't know. But sometimes in these things, I get the feeling these people kind of announce it to gauge the interest, and then actually that will ultimately decide whether it'll happen or not.
But didn't Sky used to do this, that if you bought it before the night, you had it for like $5 cheaper? Did they ever do that?
I believe it's still the case, actually, for phone bookings. Right? So, but it's not the same anymore for online or red button purchases.
Right.
So it used to be you'd get it $5 cheaper if you booked it before. I guess that would be to save the influx of calls on the night, which they couldn't potentially manage. But now it's done obviously with a different system. That's not the case. But I think it might be more expensive if you phone and book on the night. I'm not sure if that still exists.
But who phones up anymore?
Exactly.
So yeah. So you're not a fan or not a fan? It is what it is, because you've kind of been involved in that world as well.
Sort of go on and have an absolute meltdown on social media about it. It's just another event. I mean, some fights are good, some fights are shit. Some films are good, some films are shit. You ain't got to go to the cinema and go and watch it, have you? Yeah, we are in a sport, and we do have opinions in our community, which I love, fight fans community, because they're fucking so passionate, aren't they? They're so opinionated, but it is literally like, it's just an offering. So you don't really, why would you have a freak out about it? Okay, because it's not right for the sport. Yeah, all right, whatever. But who cares? Let them get on with it. Like, don't tune in. But you're never going to stop people from trying to make money out of things like that. Do you know what I mean? So if the numbers work, those things will always happen.
But for yourself, are you more inclined to say, look, I'd rather fight or don't? I mean, this is a bit weird, because if they was actually having a proper fight that wasn't an exhibition, it'd be dangerous.
I don't like exhibitions. That's why I felt the Tyson-Roy Jones Jr. fight was a load of shit, because I don't want an exhibition. But at the same time, it's, should they be fighting physically? So I don't know. You're never going to say anything. One thing I've learned, speaking to you, is you're never going to say something that everyone will agree with. So you might as well not say nothing at all. But I can't help myself, and I don't do that either. So do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel I've just got absolutely no interest in watching that at all. Like, the interest levels. The worrying thing, I will say one thing, the worrying thing for boxing is people are a lot more interested in watching things like that. And I mean, you look at Tyson against Roy Jones. I mean, how many buys did Errol Spence against Danny Garcia do at the weekend?
I don't know. Do you know?
150,000. So, I mean, maybe 200. But And then they reported that Tyson did 1 million. So the worrying thing, and Dana White quoted this morning saying, this is where I'm saying boxing's in the shit. You've got one of the greatest fighters of all time fighting a YouTuber who's 0-1, and that's your big event. So we've got to be a little bit careful that we don't just say, okay, well, this does numbers, let's do it, because we have to drive the great fights, and we have to make Fury against AJ, and we have to make Crawford against Spence, you know, and we have.
You did KSI Logan Paul because it does great numbers.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm saying we can't just keep saying, well, that does great numbers, let's do that. I could create 3 or 4 nights that would do better than, I don't know, Usyk Chisora, you know, White Povetkin. I can give you pay-per-views that would do more numbers, but it's not. We have to maintain the sport. We have to maintain great fights. That's what we're in it for. So you just got to be a little bit careful. But I would do Jake Paul against KSI.
You should try and do that for next year. I'm not going to lie, you should try and do that.
But do you know what? That's a good fight, I think. I think that's a good fight.
Because those fighters are evenly matched-ish, aren't they?
But that's why I don't really get the narrative of Jake Paul against Logan. Just don't get it. The only thing is, what is he, 20 kilos heavy? So it doesn't matter if he was 120 kilos. It ain't going to be competitive for 1 second.
What are the odds on Jake Paul fighting Logan Paul next year as well?
The brothers?
Yes, fighting each other.
Yeah. Money talks, mate.
Money talks. Oh, I think, not forgetting, but next weekend is fucking Canelo and Callum Smith.
I can't believe it. And Golovkin on the Friday as well.